Hello Year 10, hope you're well. Today we continue with our compound measures. We're going to talk about density. Density, mass, and volume are the three things that we're going to talk about today. Can you match up the words volume, mass, and density with the units that you measure them in? I'm going to start with a really simple one, which is volume. And I know that volume we measure in meters cubed. I know that from a while ago we did volume. And I also know that volume can be measured in centimeters cubed. So those are our volume answers. For mass tells me how heavy something is. That is grams and kilograms. So I guess density, the bit that's left over, must be the grams per centimeter cubed and the kilogram per meter cubed. So there we go, they're all matched up. All right, let's talk about what density is. So we've got these two objects are the exact same volume. We've got a brick and we've got a sponge, and they're the exact same size. And we want to know, in water, the brick would sink to the bottom, and the sponge would float. Do you know why that is? The reason for that is because the brick is much more dense. It's made out of concrete, and so it's going to fall to the bottom or sink to the bottom because it's very dense in its formation, whereas the sponge has lots of holes in it to hold the water in it, whereas the brick doesn't have anywhere to hold the water, so it's just going to fall to the bottom. It's because the brick is more dense and the sponge is less dense. And if we look at what an image of that might look like, so you might be asking yourself, yeah, but what is density? And density is the amount of mass that's in a particular volume, and it tells us how tightly matter is packed together. So the picture on the left shows us the little red circles. They're really, really tightly packed together. The picture on the left has a higher density. And then you've got the picture on the right where the red circles are more spread out. That one shows us that it's got a lower density because it's not as tightly packed together. So the most common units that we have are grams per centimeter cubed, how many grams for every centimeter cubed, or kilograms per meter cubed. All right, let's try out some questions. So hopefully you know about the density, mass, volume triangle. If you don't, here it is. I've tried to color code it to make it look all pretty. You've got mass is density times volume, density is mass divided by volume, and volume is mass divided by density. So you can go ahead and write that down if you would like. If you don't want to, you can keep referring back to this part of the video, I guess. All right, let's try some questions. All right, example 1. A cuboid has dimensions of 9 centimeters by 3 centimeters by 12 centimeters. It has a mass of 194.4 grams. Find the density of the cuboid. Okay, so we want to find the density. We know the mass. Bit confused. We don't know the volume, do we? Ooh, it's a cuboid. Okay, do you know what a cuboid looks like? Really bad drawing here. Here's my cuboid. And it says this cuboid is 9 centimeters by 3 centimeters by 12 centimeters. Could you find the volume of that? Have I ever taught you that? Is that something we did recently? You should be shaking your head and thinking, yes, it is. The volume of this particular cuboid is going to be 9 times 3 times 12. All right, let's check that out. 9 times 3 times 12, the volume is 324 centimeters cubed. So now I have the volume and I have the density. No, they want me to find the density. I have the volume and I have the mass, so I can go ahead and find the density. Density is mass divided by volume, which is going to be 194.4 grams divided by 324 centimeters cubed. So let's get out our trusty calculator. 194.4 divided by 324 gives me 0.6. And then we'll talk about the units. It's going to be grams per centimeter cubed. And there we go. That is how we do these questions. They're not all going to be that complicated. Some of them, they give you the volume already. You don't have to find it. It just depends on the question. All right, let's try another one. All right, we've got the same idea going on here, but I can already see just by looking at it real quick, there's going to be an issue. So again, a cuboid, it has dimensions of 2 meters by 0.9 meters by 140 centimeters. It has a density of 0.8 kilograms per meter cubed, so that's in meters. We need to find the mass. So we want to find the mass, so we need the density and we need the volume. Thankfully, we already have the density and we can find the volume. Now, the only issue with the volume is that this is in meters, this is in meters, and this is in centimeters. So hopefully you're thinking the volume's going to be 2 times 0.9 times 1.4, because 140 centimeters is the same as 1.4 meters. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and multiply that. 2 times 0.9 times 1.4 gives me 2.52 meters cubed. And now I've got the volume and I've got the density, so I can go ahead and find mass. Mass is density times volume, which is 0.8 times by 2.52, which is going to give me 2.016, and we're trying to find the mass, and in the question it says the mass is given in kilograms, so 2.016 kilograms. All right, and that's how we do these questions. Hopefully that's making some sense. Let's try some other ones. Oh, we've got a cylinder. Ooh. A cylinder has a mass of 270 grams. It has a density of 0.78 grams per centimeter cubed. So no unit issues this time. Find the volume of the cylinder. Okay, I think we can do that. It doesn't ask us to do anything particularly fancy. It says here's the mass, here's the density, find the volume. All right, so we can cover up the V on the particular triangle, and it says the volume is the mass divided by the density. I don't think there's anything fancy going on here. Mass is 270 divided by 0.78. Grab my calculator. 270 divided by 0.78 gives me 346.15. All right, and it's volume, so it's going to be in centimeters cubed. I thought that we were going to have an even fancier question where they were going to tell me this is the radius, find the height. We might try that later today. We'll see. All right, this is kind of what I thought the last question was going to ask us to do, but this is absolutely fine. All right, find the mass of a solid iron cylinder, which is 55 centimeters high with a diameter of 60 centimeters. The density of iron is 7.9 grams per centimeter cubed. All right, so we want to find the mass, so we need the density and we need the volume. Okay, they gave us the density in the question. We need to find the volume. So I'm going to do a really bad job of drawing a cylinder. So here's the circle and the sides. All right, so they've told me that the height of this is 55 centimeters, and they told me from one side to the other the diameter is 60. Now I'm going to be honest, I don't want the diameter, I just want the radius, which is 30. Now I'm not sure if you remember how to find the volume of a cylinder. I'll tell you. You find the area of the circle, so that is going to be pi times by 30 squared, and then you times that by the height. So there's our volume. And again, I'm going to use my trusty calculator. Pi times 30 squared times 55 gives me a really big answer. 15508.8. So there's my volume in centimeters cubed. So now I've got the density and I've got the volume, so I can go ahead and find the mass. The mass is going to be density times by volume, which is 7.9 times by 15508.8. So that gives me a massive answer, which is 1228519.8. Now that is in grams, because in the earlier question, the density was given in grams. So if I want, I could turn that into kilograms by doing divide by 1000. That's possibly a good idea. So the answer we're going to get is 1,228.5 grams. No kilograms. All right. I think that's me done for today. There's several tasks for you to choose from. You don't have to do all of them, but I would like you to try 2 of them. So there's 3 of them of varying difficulties, and I'd like you to try 2. I have all of the answers on there, and then make sure your homework's done for tomorrow, and I'll mark it. All right, have a good day.